Welcome to Creative Tien channel. Today I want to talk about machine knitting with lace punch card on a brother knitting machine. And we're going to do some increase and decrease. First we'll look at the punch cards. Not all punch cards are designed for lace knitting. And here are some basic for the brother knitting machine. And that's from number 16M until 20M. I'm using number 16M today for this project. And you can see the card has a lot of white backgrounds, only a few punched holes. And on the left side, they have special return symbols in black. This is for the brother knitting machine. We use lace carriage for the lace hole transfer. And then we will knit with the standard K-carriage. So we'll knit both carriage to knit lace. The returning symbol is the time when we use the K-carriage. And between the return symbol, we just use lace carriage to go back and forth. And that's how we transfer the stitch to create holes. And we don't actually knit those stitches, because there's no yarn threaded to the lace carriage. And I already set up the clip, so it's continuous circle. And here is the line for row 1. So I will have the line here as the first row. I'm using my brother 881 standard gauge machine. If you use Singer or Studio machine, it will be a little different in operation. I think their punch card will look different for the lace. First, we want to start with a few rows of plain stitches. And since I want to do some increase and decrease, I will only start with center 6 stitches. So I'm going to do E-wrap and knit a few rows. And I have these stitches centered on the 0, so it's easier to follow the pattern. So I set the carriage to tension 8. And it's a good idea to install the extension rail, because we have 2 carriage and you'll be kind of crowded on the knitting machine. So I have one on the left and one on the right. And there's a hole here, and there's another hole here. You just insert the rail. So we have space to park our carriage. Now we'll check our punch card. We'll go back to row 1 and put it on lock. That's a red dot on the right. And the K-carriage is set to knit plain stockinette stitches. And I'm starting with a few rows. Make sure I add some weight. Now I park my carriage to the right, and I'm going to start the lace carriage. My lace carriage is on the left side right now, so we will knit from left to right. And you can see some stitches are selected. Now we can start the normal advancement. So we change the dial from the red dot to the center, the green triangle. So you will advance normally. And you can see we have 3 arrows. That means we'll have 3 rows with only the lace carriage. Now we are at row 4. You can see we have a return symbol. That means we are going to use our K-carriage. Our lace carriage should be on the left side. And we will knit with K-carriage 2 times. We go over to the left and back to the right. And we are not done with that symbol yet. We still need our lace carriage. Move it to the right. Now we finished row 4. We are going to row 5 now. The next 3 rows are just the lace knitting, and we'll repeat with the K-carriage again. So 3 rows. See, now we are at the row 8. We have to do the K-carriage again. Okay, move the lace carriage out of the way. This is a good chance to do increase or decrease. I'm going to do very simple increasing and decreasing with moving the stitch out. So I push the needle out on both sides. So 1 more stitch is increased on each side. And I will just follow the direction. I'm going to knit with K-carriage now, so to the left and back to the right. The 2 increased stitches are knitted. And then we will do the lace carriage to the right. And we will keep repeating that. We have 3 more rows of lace, and then we'll do the K-carriage and 1 lace again. So now we do 3 rows of lace carriage. And now it's the return symbol again. That's the time I want to do the increase or decrease. So I will move the stitch out, 1 on each side. And then use the K-carriage to the left, to the right, and then lace carriage to the right. And we just keep repeating that. Increase again. K-carriage 2 times and lace carriage. And then I have 3 rows of lace carriage. And then increase again. And that's how I increase my lace knitting. And because the piece is getting wider, we want to make sure we have enough weight. So the tricky part is to make sure we always have proper weight. Sometimes we can hold down with our hand, so it's easier to control. So basically we just follow the symbols here. When it's just red arrow, we use lace carriage to transfer the stitches. And when there is a return symbol, we use K-carriage to knit back and forth. And then we will do 1 row of lace. So that symbol actually means 2 rows of K-carriage and 1 row of lace. And because there's a lot of transferring before we knit, so it actually takes a lot more time to knit a piece of fabric because there's a lot of transferring. That's what we have so far. I increase until right 21 and the left 21. And now I'm going to do the decrease. We'll do the same way, but instead of increasing, when we are reaching that returning symbol, we will do decrease. Now we are at the returning symbol, I can start to decrease. And I'm doing the really easy way. I will just move the outermost stitch 1 stitch in. So I use my transferring tool, pick up the stitch and move to the next stitch. And make sure the empty needle back to the A position so it will not knit. I'll move the outermost stitch 1 stitch in and make sure the empty needle back to A non-working position. And I want to make sure I have a lot of weight, and then we'll continue knitting. I'm going to add one of the big weight. And then we'll continue knitting. We'll do 2 rows of K-carriage. And then 1 row of lace. And then follow the pattern, we have 3 rows of lace carriage. And then we'll just keep repeating the reducing. Now 3 rows of lace. And time to reduce again. And just transfer 1 stitch in from both sides. Empty needle back to A. And we'll do 2 rows of K-carriage. Lace. And then we'll reduce again. And also make sure we have proper upper tension. Sometimes this can be very loose, then you will have problem with knitting. And you can just pull down to make it a little bit tighter. So we want to end here. I'm going to lock the punch card. So we go back to the red dot. I'm just going to knit a few rows and bind off. So that's my final result. I block it a little bit with a little bit water. We start from the corner, increase, and then decrease. So you can use this technique to make a triangle shawl or put 2 triangles together to become a bigger piece. That's the back side. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.